Hello, I'm Jack Nichols and welcome to highlights of the 2010 AutoGP Formula Sim Racing World Championship. Round 14 of the championship is fought on the famous Autodromo Nazionale Monza, one of the most historic racing circuits in the world. A mostly flat circuit, this track is known for its high speeds and it demands the drivers to negotiate the turns with very little downforce at their disposal. Qualifying saw Twister Racing lock out the front row for the first time this season, with Bruno Marquez taking pole over David Greco. Ronnie Hannell qualified third, ahead of championship leader Bono Huis. Lee Morris again set an impressive qualifying lap to secure fifth on the grid, and Jaakko Mykkänen qualified in sixth. Off the start line, all the front runners had an equal launch, and it was a Twister-led drag race heading down into the first corner. With David Greco on the inside, he was in the favourable position to take the lead when Bruno Marquez locked up badly and had to take to the grass. He lost several positions, and through the opening chicane, Bono Huis edged out Ronnie Hannell for second position. The tight squeeze into the Rogia chicane produced no overtaking at the front, with all the drivers bar Poniatowski making it through cleanly. On the following lap, Marquez passed Lee Morris to move up into fifth position, and then both Hurl and Tali attacked Morris, with the trio driving three abreast into the second chicane. Morris defended his position, but Tali cut the chicane and passed Hurl in the process. Tali then lined up Morris, and the pair drove side by side through the Parabolica. This led to another three abreast run into the braking zone for the first chicane, and again Morris defended his position, but contact from Hurl unsettled the Ash Racing driver, allowing both Saxon and De Witt into the mix. The five-way fight over sixth place resulted in many position changes over the following laps, with the drivers using the slipstream effect to their advantage. Several passes were made into the first chicane, along with some impressive racing through the tricky Parabolica. Eventually, both Tali and Hurl escaped from the group and created a substantial gap back to Morris and Saxon. At the front, David Greco was still leading, but Bono Huis and Ronnie Hannell remained locked onto his rear wing. Jaakko Mykkänen was close behind in fourth place, just ahead of Marquez in fifth. On lap 13, Huis made a rare mistake, locking up into turn 1 and dropping behind Hannell, and not long after, Mykkänen also passed him, putting him down into fourth position. Three-time world champion Bruno Marquez made a similar error, losing control at turn 1 and hitting the wall. By now, Greco had a small but significant gap over Hannell, and the Italian was in a strong position to take his first win of the season at his home Grand Prix. But unbeknownst to the spectators, Greco's pit limiter was not functioning correctly, and into the pits, the Twister driver lost out immediately to Hannell, and then lost more time crawling down the pit lane. Having pitted earlier, Mykkänen should have taken the lead over Hannell as he exited the pit lane, but Mykkänen locked up into turn 1 and as a result dropped back behind Huis. With Greco, Marquez and Hurl all having issues with their pit stops, the leading precision trio seemed to have been handed an easy podium finish. But with nearly 20 laps still remaining, and David Greco still relatively close behind, there was plenty of action to come. Another small mistake from Huis allowed Mykkänen to move back into second, and meanwhile Hannell seemed to be edging further away into the lead. While initially managing to keep Huis and Mykkänen in his sights, Greco was continuing to struggle with his malfunctioning wheel, and slowly but surely he lost contact with the precision team. Some less than perfect times from Hannell allowed Mykkänen and Huis to get closer to the race leader, and with Mykkänen in striking distance, he made the pass for the lead into the Parabolica. However, the spectators would then be somewhat disappointed when it appeared that team orders were coming into play from the Precision Motorsports team. Mykkänen appeared to let both Hannell and Huis through, and not surprisingly, Hannell then allowed championship leader Huis to take over the top spot. As with previous rounds, the final lap saw some last-minute overtaking, with Rasmus Tali trying everything to get around Marquez for fifth position. And while Tali initially managed to get in front, Marquez made an awkward pass to take the position back. Taking victory number 7 in this 2010 season, Bono Huis is now just one small step away from taking the championship. Jaakko Mykkänen and Ronnie Hannell rounded out second and third, making it an all-precision podium for the second time this season. David Greco finished in fourth position, and Marquez's fifth position means he still has a remote chance of catching Huis for the championship. John-Eric Saxon was promoted to sixth after Tali was penalised for cutting a chicane earlier in the race. Bono Huis is now 94 points clear of Marquez and just 6 points shy of securing the 2010 championship. Marquez himself will have to produce some solid results to stay ahead of Tali, Mykkänen and Hannell in the remaining 4 rounds. The 4 drivers are separated by only 32 points. Precision Motorsports will almost certainly secure the Constructors' Championship at Singapore, as they currently have a 146-point gap back to Twister. SB Motorsports seem unlikely to catch third place MacCorp Precision team, and they will need to worry more about fifth place Ghost Speeds Racing growing points tally. The next round will be the Grand Prix of Singapore. Tune in at 5:25 GMT on the 19th of September for the multi-BC broadcast. To watch the action live, go to www.formula-simracing.net and follow the links to the live broadcast. We hope you've enjoyed this presentation. I'm Jack Nichols, and we'll see you on the streets of Singapore for the next round of the AutoGP Formula Sim Racing World Championship.